Hello everyone, this is Anthony Profeta, meditation teacher, and I'm coming today from the beautiful and very peaceful gardens here at the ARE. That is the Association for Research and Enlightenment, Edgar Cayce's world-renowned spiritual center here in Virginia Beach, Virginia. And today I thought I'd just take a couple of moments to talk to you about Buddhist philosophy or maybe Buddhist psychology and the understanding of his teaching of the Four Noble Truths. Now, something I love about the Buddha is that his entire philosophy was really for the purpose of penetrating into the understanding of reality and the nature of the human mind. And for that reason, the Four Noble Truths can actually be implemented into any spiritual tradition or practice that one may be walking or living, because it's all about understanding how the mind works. Now, the Four Noble Truths often begin with the first Noble Truth, which is life is suffering. Now, I really think that's a bad translation of what the Buddha said, because the word that he used was dukkha. And dukkha can often be translated as dissatisfaction, unsatisfaction, or even anguish or anxiety. So I feel life is suffering is a bad translation, because that makes many people think that the Buddha was pessimistic. Makes them think that Buddhism is sort of a pessimistic sort of philosophy because of that statement. So really a better translation may be that there is unsatisfaction or dissatisfaction within life. And the Buddha, remember, never said we must suffer. What he actually said is we do suffer. And we suffer because of life and how there's old age, there's death, there's sickness, and just being in this world or in this life, we come into contact with those things, and so we will become dissatisfied with life because of that. Now, the second noble truth is that there is an origin, there is a source to our unsatisfaction, our misery, our suffering. And that source or that cause is our mind's attachment or its aversion towards certain things. Unfortunately, the natural human state is really to blame our difficulties on things that are external from us. You know, we blame our unsatisfaction, our misery and suffering on other people, on places, on things. But the Buddha says that the actual root cause of our unsatisfaction, of our misery, of our suffering is really nothing more than the mind's default mode to attach itself towards any pleasant thought, feeling, sensation that arises within us, and try to suppress, have an aversion towards, run away from any sort of negative or unpleasant thought, emotion, experience, or sensation. And what that actually does is it creates a lot more misery and suffering for us than is needed. Because the truth of the matter is that life is always in flux. The only truth about life is that life is changing. It's impermanent. It comes and goes. Thoughts come and go. Emotions come and go. Feelings come and go. Things arise and pass away. And that's just the nature of this life. It's up and down. In fact, if it wasn't this, we'd be dead. You know, life can't be up here all the time. It can't be up here all the time, or down here, I should say, all the time. And even our heartbeat goes like this. If we were flatlined, we'd be dead. So it's natural for life to be a series of ups and downs. In fact, even energy is a wave that moves up and down. And so what the perspective or the understanding of the nature of our mind is that we can begin to cultivate a more balanced perspective by realizing that about life, and thereby not attaching to the positive things and the pleasant things, not when a pleasant thought arises within us saying, oh, I love this, how can I keep this, how can I make this last forever? Because if we realize the truth of reality, everything's changing. So at some point in time, our feeling, our emotion, our thought will change. And so by attaching to that, when it actually changes, we become miserable. We say, oh, I don't like how I feel now. I liked how I felt before. I want to get that feeling back. And so by detaching from it, by just being with the moment and entering fully just how pleasant and happy and enjoyable that experience is, we are actually more connected to it. We are realizing it and fully in it. Now, on the downward slope or the valley, an unpleasant feeling, sensation, thought arises within us, then what our tendency is to not want that, to push it away. I don't like this. I want things to be different. And what that does is that actually feeds the energy of just how unpleasant that is, making the experience more unsatisfactory, more miserable, creates more suffering, rather than just realizing that, hey, this isn't what I want right now, but you know what, things have to change at some point in time, so this too shall pass, and cultivating that more balanced, or what they call the equanimous state of mind. Now, the third noble truth, which I sort of hinted on already, is the realization that there is a way out of our misery and suffering, and that since we are the cause of our misery and suffering by our attachment and aversion, that the way out of that is to create that more balanced state of mind. And the way to do that is by following what he called the fourth noble truth, the Eightfold Path. And that can be broken up into 3 stepping stones of wisdom, seeing reality in the right way, of ethical conduct, moral living, speaking right words, making your living in a right way, in a right job, and mental discipline, which is cultivating concentration of the mind to help you see reality as it is. That would be practicing mindfulness techniques and working your meditation practice. So those are the 4 noble truths, and really there's nothing purely Buddhist about that. So you can apply that into any practice that you're teaching. In fact, it would make you a better Christian, it would make you a better Jew, it would make you a better Muslim, it would make you a better person in general, to just realize that we ourselves are creating a lot more unnecessary stress and anxiety for ourselves by allowing our minds to just have free reign and attach to pleasant things and try to run away from unpleasant things. And so I encourage you to look into this philosophy more, to look into this teaching more. Maybe I'll make a longer video in the future upon this and expand more on the Eightfold Path. But until then, I wish you all luck on your spiritual walk. Many blessings to you, and may each and every one of your days be filled with an abundance of love, happiness, and peace.